You have chosen one of my favorite mainline tracks, Wesson, A Hometown Story. Most everyone calls a town their hometown. I've spent years in many towns, but I call Wesson, Mississippi, my hometown. Was it because mom and dad still live there? Maybe, or maybe it's the high school football games, the friends from Colin, or all those memories that just don't fade. Let's take a walk through Wesson together. I'll share a few songs I created on my many trips home. Songs inspired by this place and by the history that shaped it. I'd say let's take the train, but the train no longer stops in Wesson. Listen, I think I hear the train now. Wesson was a scheduled stop on passenger trains running down the Illinois Central Main Line between Jackson and New Orleans. During its industrial peak in the 1880s and 1890s, Wesson had both a depot and had significant importance in Southern rail travel, not only for shipping goods from Mississippi mills, but also as a noticeable landmark thanks to its mill lights and community presence. Come home with me now, and let's walk together and bring the memories back as we move forward.
In my small town, where the nights are still, there's a lonesome sound that gives me a thrill. Through the moonlit fields and the whispering pines, I hear the call of the railway line. Oh, the trains that run all through the night, rolling steel in a fading light. I love the sound of those wheels on the tracks, and the whistle blowing as it never looks back. From the front porch swing with a coffee in my hand, I watch the shadows as they cross this land. The distant hum, a soothing serenade, a melody that memories are made. Oh, the trains that run all through the night, rolling steel and a fading light. I love the sound of those wheels on the tracks, and the whistle blowing as it never looks back. It's a song of the past, a promise of the new, a rhythm of life that I hold on to. Each horn's a reminder, each clatter a sign of the dreams on those rails that are intertwined. As the sun goes down and the stars appear, that train's sweet music is all I hear. It's a lullaby that rocks my soul, a timeless tale that never grows old. Oh, the trains that run all through the night, rolling steel in a fading light. I love the sound of those wheels on the tracks, and the whistle blowing as it never looks back. through the trees so wide. I hear the train as it slips through the night. It fades away, but it stays in my soul. That midnight train as the stories unfold.
We are coming up on the 6-minute mark of our walk. Wesson was founded in 1864 by Colonel James Madison Wesson, but part of its history begins even earlier in a town called Bankston. In Choctaw County, Bankston had Mississippi's first textile mill by 1848. They made cloth, shoes, and flour for the Confederate Army until Union General Benjamin Grierson rode in and burned it all to the ground in 1864. Colonel Wesson, he didn't quit. He moved south and built something bigger. In the heart of Wesson, he planted the seeds of Mississippi Manufacturing Company, later known as Mississippi Mills. By the 1880s, it was the largest textile mill in the South. 1,200 workers, 25,000 spindles, 800 looms. They called it Mississippi Silk, and by 1882, the mill was electric, lighting up the sky for train passengers rolling by at night. Another feature of the town of Wesson was the hotel. The Wesson Hotel, originally known as the Richardson House, was built around 1877 by the Mississippi Mills Company, replacing an earlier hotel destroyed by fire, reportedly dating from 1864. Across the tracks in Wesson, you can see the site that hosted a hotel since 1864, but the actual structure stood up until its demolition in 1982. Keep walking and let's listen to a tune about that Mississippi silk.
There's a breeze down by the mill pond where the looms once used to hum, and the shadows of the factory walls still catch the setting sun. Mama sewed in the morning light, Daddy worked till late. They made cloth so fine they called it gold, rolled out the southern fate. Mississippi silk woven with pride, through cotton fields and quiet hills where dreams would ride. From Boston hands to Delta skies, we built it brick by brick. That old blue thread of glory, Mississippi silk. Colonel Wesson came with vision, steam and cotton, steel and grit. Built a town with spires and purpose, where hope and fire were lit. The whistles blew each morning, called us to the floor, and the thread that tied the town was love and labor at its core. Mississippi silk woven with pride, through cotton fields and quiet hills where dreams would ride. From Boston hands to Delta skies, we built it brick by brick. That old blue thread of glory, Mississippi silk. Now the looms are silent, the windows cracked and gray, but I still hear the rhythm of the past in a small town way. The homes are full of stories, the streets still hum that song of daughters, sons, and working hands who kept this town so strong. We learned our math in schoolrooms where the teachers knew our names. Walked to church in Sunday best, no one left unchanged. And though the rails don't run like before, and the depot's now a dream. We still wear pride like linen, stitched in every seam. Mississippi silk, strong and true, in the hearts of those who stayed and those just passing through. From the looms to the steeple bells, we stitched our legacy, a thread of light that never fades in Wesson's memory. Yes, we'll always wear that banner bold, Mississippi silk.
We've reached the 11-minute mark on our walk through Wesson. Wesson was more than just machines and fabric. Life in a mill town like Wesson, Mississippi, especially during the late 1800s and early 1900s, revolved almost entirely around the textile mill. In Wesson's case, the Mississippi Mills, one of the South's most prominent early textile operations. The mill was the heart of the town, and nearly everyone in Wesson either worked at the mill, had a family member employed there, or provided goods and services to support the mill workers. The company often owned the housing, schools, churches, and stores. Workers lived in company-built homes, often modest but practical. The mill whistle was a defining feature of daily life. It was a loud steam whistle that could be heard all over town. It signaled the start of the workday, usually around 6 a.m., break times like lunch, the end of shifts, and even emergencies like fires. Locals would joke, you could set your watch by it. It gave rhythm to the town's life. Kids knew when it was time to come in, wives knew when to expect husbands, and stores might open or close based on it. Wesson had a strong sense of community. People worked hard, but they also gathered for church, school events, picnics, music, and baseball games. Music and storytelling were major pastimes. Folks would sit on porches, share food, and play instruments like banjos and fiddles. Mill work was physically demanding. Long hours in hot conditions with heavy machinery. Children were often employed until child labor laws were enforced. Pay was low and many families relied on company credit at the mill store, meaning they were often in debt to the same company that paid them. Even with the hardships, mill workers took pride in their work. The Mississippi mills were known for their high-quality fabrics and shipped goods internationally. Wesson was seen as a model southern mill town, progressive for its time, with schools and churches provided for workers and their families. So what was the whistle? It was more than a sound. It was the town's heartbeat, marking time, setting the pace of life, and connecting every soul in Wesson. When the mill was gone, many said it felt like the whistle stopped forever. Let's listen in to a tune I created about the whistle and how life revolved around its sounding.
Daddy rose before the dawn, coffee steaming, work boots on. Mama tied her apron tight, packed his lunch by candlelight. We all knew just when to wake, that whistle cried at 8:30. Through cotton fields or Bible praise, the whistle ran our days. It called us in, it sent us out, like church bells wrapped in factory shouts. From shift to shift through joy or haze, the whistle ran our days. Oh, the whistle ran our days. Dinner waited on that blow, kids came running from the road. We'd set the table, say the grace, time moved at the whistle's pace. songs would start when that sound rolled along. Old preacher smiled and used to say, the whistle's never late. It called us in, it sent us out, like church bells wrapped in factory shouts. From shift to shift, through joy or haze, the whistle ran our days. Yes, the whistle ran our days. Some folks dream of city lights, but we had looms and starry nights. And though those mills have passed away, I still hear that sound today. Now I walk these quiet streets where echoes hum beneath my feet. The bricks remain, the names still fade, but time like thread was tightly laid. And in my heart I still replay the rhythm of that factory day. It called us in, it sent us out, like church bells wrapped in factory shouts. Through boom and bust, through work and praise, the whistle ran our days. Yes, the whistle ran our days. You always knew where you stood when the whistle told you so.
We're getting close to the 18-minute mark, and you're hanging in there. But time, like the turning of the great loom, has a way of unraveling even the strongest threads. In 1891, Captain William Oliver, one of the driving forces behind the Mississippi Mills, passed away, marking the beginning of a long decline. Just 2 years later, the Panic of 1893 struck, sending shock waves through the national economy. Even a mill as respected as Wesson's couldn't escape the effects. Labor strikes and worker unrest added to the strain. Competition from northern mills, changes in transportation routes, and evolving industry demands all played a role. By 1910, the once booming Mississippi Mills, a symbol of Southern industrial promise, had shut down. During World War I, many of the grand brick buildings were dismantled and the materials repurposed. But one structure still stands: the packing and shipping rooms built around 1875. Though scarred by time, those walls remain, tall, silent, and full of memory, still whispering stories through their bricks and beams. And if you lean in close enough, you might just hear, let's say, the ghost of the loom.
The wheel don't turn, the floor don't creak. The looms are still, the walls don't speak. Where once the hum of labor grew, now only wind comes whispering through. Threads of cotton, sweat and pride wove our days from side to side. The warp is gone, the weft is torn. We walk through ghosts we used to mourn. Dead ghosts of the loom, they call at night. In the hush between the fading light, their footsteps echo faint and far in the silent halls beneath the stars. like ghosts of the moon. A faded spool, a rusted gear, a nameplate wiped by time and tears. The hands that turn the textile wheel left stories no one else can feel. In every breeze that stirs the pine, we hear a voice lost in the line. A mother's laugh, a child's shout, a mill bell long since ringing out. Take ghosts of the loom, they call at night. In the hush between the fading light, their footsteps echo faint and far. In silent halls beneath the stars, they worked and wove their lives too soon. Gone now, like ghosts of the loom. So if you pass the old red brick and feel a chill that settles quick, just tip your hat and softly say, you're not forgotten, not today.
We've reached the 23-minute mark on our walk through Wesson, and now we turn to one of its most enduring legacies, education. Even when the mill went silent, Wesson didn't. The rhythm shifted from machinery to learning, and the town grew into a place of knowledge and promise. The first public school opened its doors in 1875, giving children of mill workers a chance to dream beyond the loom. After a fire in the early 1890s, the school was rebuilt in 1893, the same red brick building that still stands tall today, now serving as a community center filled with laughter, memories, and celebration. In 1928, the Co-Lin Agricultural High School grew into what we now know as Co-Lin Community College, a proud symbol of Wesson's commitment to progress and learning. And with that, let's step into a song that captures the heart of those classroom days. Here's Chalkboards and Memories.
There's a red brick schoolhouse at the edge of town, windows tall and old floors worn down. The bell don't ring like it used to do, but I still hear it every time I pass through. Sat in the back row, carved my name in wood, dream big dreams like every young kid should. We learn more than books could ever teach, like how to hope and how to reach. Chalkboards and memories, dusty and true, lessons and laughter that carried us through, from first steps to farewell still see a lifetime of love in chalkboards and memories. Miss Lila taught with fire in her voice, said use your mind and make a choice. The world was wide, but our hearts were tied to a little town where the past won't die. We'd race out the door when the final bell rang, down to the creek where the tires swing, swing. And Friday nights in the old gym light, we'd cheer our team till stars filled the night. Chalkboards and memories, dusty and true, lessons and laughter that carried us through. From spelling bees to whispered prayers, we found ourselves in those old chairs. Now the halls are quiet, but I still see a lifetime of love in chalkboards and memories. Now it's wedding vows and family meals, class reunions and hometown feels. But when I walk through that wooden door, I swear I'm 13 once more. Chalkboards and memories, painted in gold, the stories of young hearts, brave and bold. We may grow older, but we never outgrow the roots we planted in that school long ago. Now the halls are quiet, but I still see a lifetime of love in chalkboards and memories.
We are almost to the end of our walk. 29 minutes have passed us by, and you have done a great job. The mill's long gone, but Wesson's heart still beats, steady, strong, and full of pride. Every year, neighbors and families come together for Founders Day, a celebration of where Wesson's been and where it's going. The old Wesson School still stands, echoing laughter and learning, while the historic packing rooms remind us of the town's hard-working roots. And now there's a new chapter on the horizon, with plans for the Wesson Mills Park and Museum, where the original mill whistle and a vintage fire truck will help tell the town's story to a new generation. In Wesson, history isn't just preserved, it's lived. There's a pride here in what was, and a deep, steady hope in what's still to come. And that brings us to our final song, a tribute to that enduring spirit. Wesson will always be.
There's a light on the porch at the edge of town, where the pine trees whisper and the stars look down. Dust on the road, but the memories gleam like cotton fields shining in a southern dream. There's a bell that rang in a red brick hall, and laughter still dances through those old school walls. Voices of hope, of heartbreak and grace, each one a thread in this woven place. My hometown will always be more than a mark on a map to me. It's the root beneath my family tree. It's the fire that shaped my melody through the winds of time and the storms we see. Wesson will always be. Granddad's boots by the chapel door, Mama's hymn still echoes from that wooden floor. We've loved, we've lost, we've learned to stand with faith like iron and calloused hands. So raise up the banner, let it fly. This little town won't ever die. It's in every step, every tear we cry. It's a home that taught us how to rise. Your hometown will always be more than a name or a memory. It's the pulse that beats inside of me. It's the hymn of hope and legacy through every change, through history. Wesson will always be. There's a light on the porch still waiting for me. Wesson will always be.
Well, that's the end of your walk through Wesson, Mississippi. The whistle goes off at 34 minutes, and you did great. We hope you felt the rhythm of the mill, the warmth of the community, and the pride that still runs through every brick and beam of this small southern town. Now's a good time to cool down, stretch it out, and let the story settle in. Don't forget to check out more from the Mainline Music Stage on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends who love music, history, and heart. You can also visit our selfie store, where many of the songs and walking tracks you heard today are available as singles or part of theme collections. Subscriptions are available too, perfect for those who walk or work to music with meaning. This audio production is for your personal use only. It may not be copied, shared, resold, or distributed in any form. All rights are reserved by the Mainline Music Stage and its creators. Thanks again for walking with us. And remember, whether it's the sound of the whistle or the echo of a chalkboard, Wesson will always be.